So DIOR SAUVAGE PARFUM was just announced, but do we really need another flanker of the original DIOR SAUVAGE Eau de Toilette? Well, in this video I'm going to talk to you about the Eau de Toilette, which was launched in 2015, the Eau de Parfum from last year, and also discuss a little bit about Chanel Bleu de Chanel and how I find DIOR SAUVAGE to be inspired by the Chanel Bleu de Chanel series of fragrances. So if you're curious to find out about these fragrances and the upcoming DIOR SAUVAGE Parfum, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. If this is your first time tuning into my channel and you love watching fragrance reviews, finding out about new fragrances, discovering new brands, and of course participating in giveaways and still haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So yes, there is a new parfum version of DIOR SAUVAGE soon to be launched, and I thought let's go ahead and do a video about these two fragrances because they're fragrances that are very dumb reach fragrances for me, and I'm kind of anticipating the parfum because I find it to be a little more depth to it as far as what I read from the notes. So DIOR SAUVAGE Parfum is created by Francois Demachy. I don't have a launch date yet, but I'm assuming it's very soon, but I just found out about it a few days ago. That's why I figured I'd do this video. Notes that I read online are Bergamot, Mandarin, Ceylonese sandalwood, Tonka bean, and Frankincense. So I think this is the first time they have added frankincense in the notes, and Bleu de Chanel has had frankincense in the notes since the Eau de Toilette, I believe. But I find the Ceylonese sandalwood and Tonka bean to be very, very exciting for me as far as a version of these two fragrances goes. In the upcoming parfum version, I find that this fragrance is probably going to have a little more depth to it. Even though the parfum or the pure perfume version of fragrances end up or tends to be more closer to the skin, not much projection, this particular version sounds great to me. But the original was launched in 2015. Now I don't have prices for it, and I don't have a price for the upcoming parfum version, but these two versions are available at discounters, so get them at discounters rather than suggested retail from the department stores, because they are available at the discounters. But this came out in 2015. The perfumer, once again, is Francois Demachy. In fact, he is the perfumer for all three versions. Notes in here are Ambrox, Elemi resin, Calabrian, Bergamot, Patchouli, Provençal, Lavender, pink pepper, Geranium, Sichuan pepper, and Vetiver. And let me spray that on me because I rarely wear this fragrance because I just find it to be one of those dumb reach fragrances. It is pretty aggressive as far as the smell goes, and over the two versions I prefer the EDP. Let me spray that there. And this one came out in 2018, and this one also get them at the discounters because you can find them at the discounters. But with this one, it's Bergamot, Lavender, Sichuan pepper, star anise, Nutmeg, Ambroxan, and Papua vanilla, or Papua New Guinea vanilla. I was only able to obtain Papua vanilla for the notes in here. So out of the two, I do prefer the EDP. It just seems a little more, less aggressive. I should say not a little more, but less aggressive than the first one. The first one has a really massive cloud, and I think to me, mostly it's all about Ambroxan here. It's just an Ambroxan dominant fragrance, which I don't have a problem with Ambroxan. But when this first came out, I felt like it was a little not exciting of a fragrance, because after all, I thought, okay, Sauvage, maybe it's inspired by Eau Sauvage, the original men's classic fragrance from Dior from the 60s, but it has nothing to do with it. In fact, I recently did a video two months ago, and I called the video Dior is so sauvage, because they keep releasing fragrances with the word sauvage in it. They have this series, of course. They have the Eau Sauvage series. They also have Ballade Sauvage, which is a great, great release from the Maison Christian Dior Fragrances collection. So if you're curious to watch that video, watch that. At that time, I wasn't aware there was going to be a parfum version of this fragrance, but makes sense that they're releasing these. Now they're cranking them out really fast. If you noticed, this came out in 2015. 3 years later we got this. Now 1 year later we're getting the Parfum. And this gets me to speak a little bit about the Chanel Bleu de Chanel series. So Bleu de Chanel came out in 2010. The Eau de Parfum came out in 2014, so 4 years apart. And then 4 years later, we got the Parfum version. And personally, I think out of all three of them, I find this to be a little overpriced. So personally, I prefer the EDP version out of all three. And I like wearing it. It's another one of those dumb reach fragrances. There's not a lot of substance to it. It's mostly very fresh, lemony, sandalwood, and some incense notes in there. Same with the Dior Sauvage series, even though I don't prefer it as much as the Bleu de Chanel fragrance. I'm very, very excited about the new Parfum version. Now, as far as Ambroxan goes, I think this is a great representation of Ambroxan. It's a fresh take, but as I said, this one's very aggressive. It's really a big, massive cloud. Let's see how it smells on me. There's citruses in there, of course. There's a little bit of lavender. I mean, the lavender is prominent in both, but what I like about this one here, the fact that it's smoother, it's more closer to the Bleu de Chanel series. It's not so aggressive and loud. I like aggressive, loud fragrances, but this one almost kind of chokes me or makes me cough, if that makes sense. I don't hate the smell, and I don't mind that as far as, as far as fragrances go, and if I'm going to be choking and coughing, I want that fragrance to be like really something I really love. And this makes me choke and cough, and it's not a fragrance style that I really like so much, so it's not one of my favorites. But I do prefer the EDP. As I said, I do like to wear it. It's smoother, it's softer. There are softer elements in the EDP, and this is where it kind of goes more towards the Bleu de Chanel series. So I'm very, very curious about the Parfum version, and I'm really excited about the fact that it's got the Ceylonese sandalwood, because I love sandalwood, and sandalwood tends to be very, very creamy. It's a woody note that's very creamy. It can even go into like a milky, creamy territory, so it's soft and smooth, and I could see that it won't have the projection, because I personally don't find sandalwood fragrances to be very, very loud. So I'm assuming it's going to be something that's going to tone down the fragrance, because the creaminess of the sandalwood, if it is the creamy kind, is going to be the soft and not so in-your-face aggressive. So I'm sensing the fact that that version is going to be the softest out of the two that we have so far. And if it's anything like the Bleu de Chanel series, where we have the EDT, which is the loudest, and then we have the EDP, which is, it's still loud, but it's not as soft as this one. This one is, the Parfum is really, really soft, and I almost think that the Parfum is not worth it. If you are a fan of the EDP, as far as the Bleu de Chanel series goes, you already have this EDP. Don't even bother with this one. There's not a lot of changes with the notes, all that good stuff, unless you like it softer and paying the extra money. Out of the three, I much prefer the EDP. And I'm hoping that with the launch of Dior Sauvage Parfum, it's not going to be like the Bleu de Chanel series. I'm hoping that there's going to be a little bit of a difference between these two and then the Parfum. I'm hoping, because when you look at Dior Sauvage, when you look at Dior Eau Sauvage Eau de Toilette, and then Eau Sauvage Parfum, there's so much different. But I think they've never launched an EDP on the Sauvage, or did they? I'm drawing a blank, but I'm hoping that that with the launch of the Parfum here with the Dior Sauvage, it's going to be a little different than what I've got here, because these fragrances, even though I prefer this one, they don't really excite me much. Even the Bleu de Chanel series, they don't excite me much. They're not much exciting. I think these are the kind of fragrances you would wear when you want crowd pleasers, you want compliment getters, nothing like, I guess, original, unique smells and things like that. They're very, very like mass appealing kind of fragrances. These are the kind of fragrances I would wear when I don't want to wear something really like out there, unique, orientals, leathers, you know, things like that. So I'm hoping that the EDP, I'm hoping that the Parfum is going to be something a little more unique than this, and that excites me about the sandalwood note. So the sandalwood, And then you got the tonka bean, it says it's in there, and then you've got frankincense. Now the frankincense is going to add the smokiness, and that's kind of why I thought maybe it's going to even a little further into the direction of the Bleu de Chanel series, because there's frankincense in this, and the notes there. But the sandalwood and the tonka bean is what is also very unique. Tonka beans tend to go a little on the nutty side, like almonds almost, so that could be very unique. But then again, I don't think they're going to be totally out there. I think they're going to still be based on the original Eau de Toilette and of course the EDP, and they're just going to kind of like add some nuances to this fragrance with this sandalwood, tonka bean, and frankincense, and then give us something a little unique and different, even though it's going to be the Parfum version, the pure perfume edition of the fragrance. I don't think there's going to be a lot of changes. So what do you guys think? Are you curious about the Parfum? Are you happy with either the EDT or the EDP, or what's going to make you get the Parfum version? Let me also know if you have all three versions of the Chanel Bleu de Chanel series, and if you don't, and you have one of them, let me know which version you have, because I want to know if you like the Parfum there, or are you a fan of the EDP Eau de Parfum, or are you just happy with the EDT? Because some people are happy with the EDT. I prefer the EDP, of course. I hated the EDT at first, just like this, and I love this one. But then, you know, this one has warmed up on me. It's one that I like, and I have some friends that use it, and some family members that use it. It's warmed up on me, and then sometimes I wear it at the gym. I don't overspray this one because I said it's a little aggressive, but one spray here and one spray there, and I'm done. And it smells great. It's great when it's when your body is sweating and the fragrance starts a little projection. But I also go to a very, very uncrowded gym. I'm going during the day, and it's not so many people there, so because I don't want to offend anyone when I go to the gym, especially with my scent. But those are the kind of fragrances I wear. I even wear Bleu de Chanel once in a while at the gym. I think it's the kind of fragrance I would wear. But I think I've warmed up to the Sauvage original, but at first, when it first launched, I thought it was not one of those amazing fragrances. But I was excited when it was coming out because of the name, because I was such a fan of the original Eau Sauvage. But now I'm very, very curious about this Parfum version. Let's see when it comes out and what it's going to smell like. I'm totally curious about it. I'm not sure it's going to be, as I said, very unique and out there and interesting, but I'm definitely interested in trying this new Dior Sauvage Parfum. So anyway, guys, do you know about this new upcoming release from Dior Sauvage Parfum? Are you curious about it? Are you interested? Do you want to try it? Or maybe you don't even care for the Sauvage series. I know there's a bunch of you out there that don't like it. I mean, just let me know if you hate the series, and if even you might even not even like the House of Dior. I think if I had to choose, Dior is my favorite designer house. It's a top 5 for sure, but it might be my favorite. I haven't really taken inventory recently, but I think it's my #1 house. It used to be Mugler, but I think Mugler slipped down. I'm not really seeing much from Mugler, unfortunately, especially now that it's going to be purchased by, or it already has happened, by L'Oreal. But this is a house that I really love. I think out of all the designers, Dior is the one that I have the most fragrances from, next to Tom Ford. Tom Ford is definitely #2 now for me as far as houses go. Anyway, I'm very curious. Let me know if you are as well. Let me know if you have any of these fragrances. Do you find these fragrances to be some of your favorites, or are they just like dumb reach fragrances, or are they just fragrances that you wear over and over again, really get great compliments from people and all that good stuff? Please let me know. Put some comments down, and we'll be back with more videos very soon. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.